Do you think Alex Anzalone provides any commentary to Kate Otten on this? Like, ole! Welcome back, Bucs fans, to another Pewter Report YouTube film room. I'm Josh Queipo. I've had a few requests this past week to kind of break down what's wrong with the Bucs run game, and I wish I had like a really it's this one thing, but it's not. It's a lot of different things. Bucs ran the ball 13 times traditionally on Sunday against the Detroit Lions. By my count, 4 of those runs were successful. All right. Of the other 9, can we say, one person or one position group didn't do well on 5 or 6 of them? Not really. No, it's a little bit of everything. But what it adds up to is just a unit. When you talk about the offensive line, the running backs, the tight ends, all working together, the run game is very much a marriage of many different people and groups to create something beautiful. And right now, it's not really beautiful for the Bucs. So we're going to go through all 13 runs. I'm going to try and get through it pretty quick and kind of describe what's happening and why things don't work. So we'll start off, and I will say these runs aren't necessarily in order. I didn't cut them in order. So we're just going to go from one to the next and break them out as islands. So we'll start with this one. I can say one of the main factors, not the only one, but one of the main factors is Cade Otton is lost as a blocker right now. And you're going to see it on this one. Has nothing to do, this particular rep has nothing to do with his physical abilities. He just goes the wrong damn way. And you'll see it right now. All right, everybody's going to move left. Okay. This run is to the left. Keith is going to break out here, but the offensive, and that's just to kind of create a distraction, but the whole offensive line is moving left. Cade Otton, he decides he wants to go in the different direction, and he's going to run right into Tristan Wirfs and leave Aiden Hutchinson completely unblocked. Hey, thanks, kid. Rashad White does everything he can to just pick up 1 or 2 yards. Okay, moving on to the next run. The Bucs are in pistol here. You've got a box count on the offensive side: 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Defensive side: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're losing the box count. Here we're going to see that Alex Anzalone is going to shoot the gap, and Cody Malk is not able to get off of the double team to head him off, and he basically kills this before it even starts. So let's take a look here. Okay. Just in terms of assignments, Cade Otton's supposed to get up to the linebacker here, and he's moving through the defensive end and Tristan Wirfs. Wirfs is here. Filer's got the 3 technique. Hainsey's one-on-one with the nose tackle. That's not a great matchup for the Bucs. Bucs are double teaming on the backside here with Malk and Gedeke. And just based on the alignments and everything, Malk's got to get off that double team and get to Anzalone. Now, full disclosure, this is a very difficult play for Malk based on the fact that Anzalone sells out on this and gets through the whole, very quickly. So, yes, this is on Malk, but at the same time, I'm not going to say there's nothing he can do. He's got to get to it, but it's difficult is the best I can put it. Okay. Shad does a good job of avoiding Anzalone, trying to make something out of nothing. Okay. I'm going to back it up real quick. Let's see. The other thing, just kind of as an overarching macro level, nothing is smooth with the Bucs offensive line right now. Pay attention again to Otten moving through Wirfs and the D end here just to get up to Derek Barnes on the second level. You can see everything's just kind of choppy, right? Not smooth. D end gets a bump on Otten. Now he's off balance, trying to get away. Just nothing smooth about it. Okay, now let's take a look at an example of one of the Bucs' more successful runs on the day. And this one, they kind of sold out in terms of we want to become physical and present a physical look up front and they do that with 13 personnel here. So 3 tight ends, 1, 2, and 3. It gives the Bucs 8-man box count, and the Lions have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they're matching. So if everybody can execute one-on-one blocks, White should be able to read things out and hopefully make the right call. This is going to be a mid-zone run. So for those of you unfamiliar, a mid-zone run is more of a horizontal play, and it gives the running back a lot of options in terms of what they can do based on what they're seeing ahead of them. The goal here for this mid zone, it's going to go to the left, is to get into the B gap. So in between left guard Matt Filer, left tackle Tristan Wirfs, as everything kind of moves to the left. So he's going to come out here. If that initial zone or gap is covered, the way that the play runs out, because it's horizontal, it allows him 2 secondary options, right? The secondary option being if they overrun that out and it creates a crease in behind Filer in the play side A gap, then he can just pop in through there. And then finally, if both the first and second options are not open, then a tertiary option would be to come in behind the center off of a double team, actually, that's going to happen here. So we'll take a look at kind of how it plays out. So you can see everything's moving wide. The goal here would be to get into this gap. All right. Tristan engages his man fine. Keith gets upfield for the linebacker. Now, because of this double team, it does leave one man unblocked. Okay. And that's going to be the backside DN. The hope would be that everything kind of plays this way and he's not able to catch up to the play. All right. So you've got your backside tight end. I think that's Payne Durham moving up to the safety. You've got Gedeke walling off the backside. You've got the double team right here on this D tackle, and then Hainsey's got to move off of it up one level to the, I think that's Derek Barnes, the linebacker. All right, so we're going to see it develop. Now you can see, Filer's not able to quite keep this zone or this gap open. So Rashad starts to move backwards. So he starts to say, okay, is my A gap open? No, my A gap's not open. So he's going to end up full cutback back into the backside A gap, make a nice little jump over and make a good play there. Now, was it perfect? No. Gedeke didn't wall off the backside well enough and kind of muddies that gap, but it's open enough for Rashad to get through. All right, now on this next play, this is more of like a gap scheme, right? So the goal here is, I'm pretty sure, for Keyshawn to hit the A gap, right? So Wirfs is going to take this D end. Filer is just going to move straight up to the second level to get Derek Barnes. Hainsey one-on-one with the zero technique, the nose tackle. Initially, you're going to see Malk and Gedeke double team this D end, and then Otten's responsible for Hutch. One of these two guys has got to get off the double team to make it up to Anzalone. Okay, Anzalone had a phenomenal game. It was just ridiculous. My guess is that by design, it's the inside man. So that would be Malk. The way that the double team plays out and how Anzalone feeds into this, really the best option would be Gedeke. This could be a communication issue. It could be Gedeke was supposed to move off the double team, but the bottom line is this double team doesn't separate to account for Anzalone, and he ends up blowing up the play because he's unblocked. So we'll take a look. All right, here we go. So you can see Wirf's got his man. Filer's just making sure nobody blows the block, and he needs to help. Starts moving up to Barnes. There's your double team starting to occur. And you got two very strong guys in Gedeke and Malk, and two of them together just can't move this man. So it was just great job just sitting down. Hainsey kind of gets tossed around. He's not winning his block. There's no vertical displacement. Anzalone says, hey, I'll just slip through here. What's up, Sneak? Blowing it up. So, all right. For this next run, now we've got another good example. This one went for a decent chunk here. It's the only time in the game that the Bucs ran kind of a lead toss, and they did it to good results. Just kind of the assignments. Cade's going to come in motion, and his job is just going to be to, I believe, bang the defensive end here. Tristan's going to try and do a cut block. He's actually not going to do it very well. Filer pushes this way. Everybody else kind of pushes to the right, and you'll see Sneak kind of finds a hole with good feel for the play. So there we go. So Hainsey's going to get out. And this is where you see some athleticism from Hainsey. Quickly gets off the ball. He's going to get upfield to get to Derek Barnes. Filer does a good job of pushing the nose. You can see Tristan's cut doesn't do a great job. This guy's still involved with the play. We'll back it up just a second here so we can see the front side of the play developing. Malcolm Gedeke, they start a double team. Gedeke does a good job of getting off of it and getting to Anzalone. Keith, he's finding the cornerback, just to kind of seal out everything out. Rakim Jarrett, I believe that is. He's moved up to the second level or third level, really, to get the safety. But here's where Keyshawn Vaughn does a good job on this play. He feels that the Detroit ends up over pursuing to the front side of the play, and that he's got something to the backside here, and finds his hole, and then even does a good job of feeling his way back to the front side, trying to get back in underneath Bob Hainsey on Barnes. So good run play. So this one worked well, and I'd love to see a little bit more of this lead toss going forward. So I'm going to run these next two together because they're basically the same play. Bucs ran counter twice, I think both out of shotgun, and it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all for the same reason, and that's Cade Otton. Otton was the second puller on both reps, and neither one went well for him as he matched up with Alex Anzalone in a war of the face paint. And I think after this, Anzalone may have told Cade he doesn't deserve to wear face paint anymore. So let's take a look. All right. So you're going to see Malk and Otton are pulling. Counter just means you're basically faking like you're going to run in one direction and you pull out the other side. So Vaughn gets it. Malk gets his seal. Otton's responsible for Anzalone. Nope. Just swim right by him. Blew it up. Then we'll see on the next one, different running back. And I don't think this one actually was counter, but yeah, actually it was. And Otton gets just obliterated. Kudos to Rachaad White for finding some daylight and turning this into a positive, but go back a little. Oh, let's go back a little bit more. Okay, Otton comes around. There's Anzalone. What's up, bud? Let's go for a ride. Let's get your buddy. So for this one, I would put this next run on, and it was an unsuccessful one, and I would put it on the running back, and in this case, it's Sneak Vaughn. So this is going to be a split zone run out of an offset I formation. So Keith is going to come to the back side of the run. The run's to the left. Play side is to the left. Keith is going to come to the back side just to clean up the basically Aiden Hutchinson here. Everything else is going to flow to the left. Wirfs is going to take this D end. Filer is moving up to the second level to take, I believe, actually to seal off here. He goes for Barnes. Hainsey's got the nose. Malk is going to flow up and try and seal off the middle linebacker there. Vaughn's got to play inside of what ends up being the center and the left tackle. And he doesn't. He tries to kick it to the outside, but what he's doing is he's kicking it to the unblocked defender. And what I mean by that is, again, Wirfs here. Filer's got the linebacker. Hainsey's got the nose. Malk is going to end up sealing off or trying to seal off the middle linebacker. Gedeke's got this end. Otten's working to the safety, and again, Queipo is coming to the backside to Hutchinson. The Bucs are losing the box count here, so that means there's one guy unblocked. It's this guy right here, and Vaughn runs right into him. Okay. So I can understand why he makes the decision, even though I don't agree with it. It looks like Wirfs is about to lose this block. And so he's like, all right, let me see if I can make something out of nothing. What he does is he finds less than nothing. It didn't work. All right, so just a few more. This next one out of pistol, the Bucs are going to run a split zone. This is going to be a good run, and you're going to see a lot of that has to do with Hainsey and Malk here getting some vertical displacement on a double team. So not a whole lot of commentary for this one. Just it worked well. So you can see they're pushing the nose back up field and creating some vertical space, almost like a pocket for White to move into, and then try and make a late decision, get upfield. They got some good yards on this one. Now here you're going to see a mid-zone run that just doesn't really go anywhere. And I think it's a good example of kind of discussing really quickly the importance of running backs playing to the play design, right? There is some room for freelancing, of course, but what happens is when you freelance, you end up working against the scheme. So for this particular scheme on the mid-zone run, very much like earlier when I explained it out, the goal is to get into this B gap, okay? If that is cut off, then the goal is to get into the play side A gap. And if that's cut off, then the third option is the backside A gap, all right, which would be right behind Malk and ahead of Gedeke. What's going to happen is Rashad is going to try and cut this all the way back behind Gedeke. And he runs into an unblocked defender. The reason for that is you're going to see here, tight end is just going to seal off the backside. Godwin's going to run in motion and bring a defender with him. I want to say it's the safety here. Tristan on the end. Filer's going to move up to get one of the linebackers up here. Malk and Hainsey are going to double the nose, and Gedeke is responsible for this end. What that leaves is Anzalone is an unblocked defender. Now, the goal of the run is to get him to play to a backside gap that White isn't going to go to. So effectively, the scheme is going to account for him. But because Rashad comes all the way back, he brings Anzalone back into the play as an unblocked defender who cleans it up pretty quick. So you see Godwin removes the safety, the box safety, or nickel defender. Again, tight end, I want to say that's Durham. He does a decent job seeing on the backside. Okay. So Malk is playing to the double team. Tyler's climbing. Wirfs is going to lose. Right there. Okay. Now, here, because everything's supposed to move left, by allowing that inside aggressiveness, he's muddying every gap up. Okay. So now Rashad is going to bounce to the backside and right into Anzalone. Okay. So now we could ask, where else could he have gone? Because Gedeke gets really pulled too far, right? That gap kind of muddies up itself. He didn't have a whole lot of other choice, but I think it's a good example of this is why, you can't just say, well, there's green grass over there. Why didn't you go to there? It's because that's not where the run's designed to go. And oftentimes that means he'd be running to an unblocked defender. All right, we're down the home stretch now. This will be the final quote unquote good play that we review. This can be an inside zone run. So first goal is to try and get through play side A gap. Second goal is the backside A gap. Third goal would be to cut it all the way back to the kind of BC gap based on how everything flows up. So we'll take a look here. So right off the bat, Otten's moving up to take on, I think it's Anzalone. Gedeke has got Hutch. That all looks good. Malk trying to handle the D tackle here. I'm going to back it up just a little bit because I think this is one of the very few times where you see a double team move to the second level well. And here it is, Hainsey and Filer. Filer stays on the nose. Hainsey's able to move into the second level linebacker. Everything flows well on this. So they really sold it well because they got the linebackers playing down to exactly where they want to meet them. So Hainsey meets the linebacker here. And then Wirfs is doing a good job of handling the backside end. And so what this does is White makes a great read, sees everything's flowing front side really well, which means there's a lot of room on the backside. And technically, he should be hitting here. And this is where a little bit of the freelancing kind of works. But at the same time, if he had cut through there, there's a good chance that he's kind of off to the races. He cuts all the way back, actually clips Tristan, and finds the unblocked defender. Now, it makes a nice little nifty move to get a few more yards, but I still maintain while this was a good run, let's take it back a little bit more. That's the hole he should have hit, and there's a good chance that if he gets through it and bends inside, there's a whole lot of daylight there. So, good play. Maybe could have been better. All right. We're going to be back to a gap scheme run here. Basically, Keyshawn's going to try and hit this hole right here. Hainsey and Filer are going to try and double up. And then I believe Filer would have to be moving to the second level to get Anzalone. Otten's going to get up and actually get a good block on Derek Barnes. I called him out for a lot of his blocking woes this season, so I feel it's only fair that I credit him when he has a good block. The person who loses on this one and really blows up the whole play is Tristan Wirfs. He is not going to be prepared for how quickly this edge rusher is able to cross his face and penetrate into the gap where the run's supposed to go. So we'll take a look. So right there, I mean, he's quickly slamming down there. Wirfs can't really get to him, tries to give him a little pitch in the back, but he does a good job of turning around, and now Vaughn's in no man's land between him and then this guy right here. He has nowhere to go. He tries to make something out of nothing, just like before, and creates a whole lot of negative. All right, Bucs fan, you have made it to the final play here. And so we've got another mid-zone run, and this time it's going to be the guy who has gotten all the flowers this year for some absolutely incredible pass blocking as he transitioned back to his college position, Luke Gedeke. Unfortunately, Gedeke is going to be the reason why this run fails. So let's take a look. And just right there, boom. It's a mid-zone run. You've got to create the horizontal plane. You've got to move the defense outside. And he just gets stood up and pushed back by that DN. And just, again, muddies everything else up. It's like that car wreck that just creates all the traffic behind it, right? So Sneak is going to try and kick back, find a little bit of room. I'd say he actually did a very good job of creating something there, but that play was doomed because Gedeke was just unable to get the horizontal movement or lateral movement on his D end. So that brings us to the end here. So when you ask what's wrong with the Bucs run game, they're just not working in concert. It's not any one thing. All right. There are some, I would say, some areas that are more concerning or pop up more often, but they aren't like it's always this. Cade Otton and just the tight end group as a whole are a net negative and hurting a lot of plays. Out of these 13 plays, Otton himself was the reason 3 of them were L's. Okay. Beyond that, I would say Cody Malk is still learning how to play guard in the run game, understanding his assignments and timing things up, especially moving off of double teams to get to the second level. And to a certain extent, Robert Hainsey struggles with that as well. Layer on top of that, Hainsey's just not big enough to play with a lot of these nose tackles in terms of the power and strength game. He doesn't get the vertical displacement on gap schemes. He struggles with just one-on-one blocking against some of these bigger, stronger interior defensive linemen. Those are your main issues, but not all of them, right? So Tristan Wirfs. Wirfs was the reason why two of these, runs didn't pan out. Sometimes the running backs do make the wrong call. We highlighted that. So it's a little bit of everything. Nothing is working in concert is what I would say. Do I foresee this improving? Over time, yes, but it's going to be a lot of time. Do I foresee the Bucs run game having a good game against the Atlanta Falcons? No, I don't. And it is my hope that offensive coordinator Dave Canales understands where his run game is compared to his pass game and adjusts his game plan accordingly. So for Pewter Report, I'm Josh Queipo. Appreciate you watching here with me. Hope you enjoyed it. See ya.